What's going on? This is Byron Cook. I am the host of A Dose of Positive. And thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. The idea is really simple. I want you to feel good. I want you to learn from successful people who are at the top of their game. They're going to give you usable bits of information that can help you lift your life. Let's do this together. Enjoy. Welcome to A Dose of Positive. I am your host, Byron Cook, and my goal here is simple. Oh, we're just getting some hydration for this special guest. Here we go. Welcome to A Dose of Positive. My name is Byron Cook, as my guest has tipped his water up. That's okay. He's thirsty.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
And fair enough. My goal here is simple on A Dose of Positive. I want to fuel your fire. I want people to learn from successful people, regardless of what their line of work is. This isn't necessarily for basketballers, although I'm sure they'll enjoy this.
Yeah.
This could be for anyone. Welcome, NBA superstar Seth Curry. Great to have you here, man.
Thanks for being. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to be here, and you can thank me for being here. Although I live around the corner on Little Lonsdale Street.
Okay.
I walked about 5 minutes. Your trip was a little bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit longer. Halfway across the world, really, but about 16-hour flight, not too bad.
Now, here's the thing. You are in Australia, right? And you have worked to a point in your life where you're so good at something that you can get on a plane and turn up to a place like this, Royal Stacks, the flagship store on Collins Street in Melbourne, and people will line up to get around you and to say, I'm with this person because of their success. When you actually stop and think about that for a moment, well, firstly, do you, or are you so locked in that you don't even think about that stuff?
No, when I see fans like this and people come out and greet me, and I'm able to meet a few people, like I said, all over the globe, I definitely think about it. It's something special. You don't want to take it for granted. Like you said, I worked to be in this position for a long time. I dreamed about it. Didn't think it would be possible for a long time, or not possible, but think it would happen for a long time. I knew it was possible, but yeah, I definitely don't take it for granted. I enjoy every moment of it, and trying to really just, like I said, come over here, meet people, have fun, provide some passion and some inspiration at the same time.
So here's the thing. Obviously, in the modern NBA, the ability to shoot a three-point basket is vitally important. It's always been really important, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're across this stat, but for those who are in and out of the basketball world or have a passing interest in basketball, my son, my 14-year-old American son actually, is my stats man, so he's done his research on you.
Yeah, okay.
All-time three-point field goal percentage, in other words, shots made versus attempts,
yep.
All-time ever in the history of the league, you are at number 3 ever. Now, you've got some natural talent, and some talent runs in the family with your dad and your bro, but just talent alone doesn't deliver that result. What does? Please tell me.
Consistency, really, because it's about being consistent. There's a lot of people more talented than me. When I was younger, especially, I played with a lot of them that didn't get to this point, and obviously aren't having a career that I'm having. A lot of other people in the NBA. I think it's about consistent hard work, figuring out what you're good at, and really mastering it. So that's really been my mindset, not to really try to be up and down, but try to be steady every day, every step of the way, and that's really what's got me here. You know what I'm saying? It's about consistent hard work, having a plan and goals, and having a really process to getting to where I want to be.
What does hard work mean at the elite level in NBA?
You got to sacrifice. I mean, sacrificing some things that other people might be doing, especially at a younger age, some stuff that my friends wanted to do, whether it's go out, have fun. At times where I needed to really go in the gym and lock in and focus on basketball and things that I need to do, but I think that's the separator. That's the hard work that separates it. Just to go and do it a little bit extra, and not even extra, just doing the same thing over and over and over. Where some people can find it boring, but for me, it's really fun to try to master a craft, and mine was basketball.
Does that involve? Might be a really obvious question to you. Constant repetition, constantly over and over, showing up and doing the same thing. In the case of three-point shooting, over and over and over to the point of almost monotony.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by some people can find it boring. Like I said, to master a craft, you got to do it 10,000 plus times, right? So it could be monotonous, it could be a little boring, but you got to enjoy the work and find different ways to push yourself.
Is there a limit? I know in our great game of AFL, the full forwards who kick lots of goals, the sports science guys have come in and said to these full forwards, you can only take so many goals in terms of practice during the week. We want to load manage how many times you do that. Are you load managed? Do you have people around you telling you to shoot the ball less in practice? Or is that okay? You can just shoot as much as you want?
There's people that load manage us. I don't know if it's about shooting less, but it's about getting off your legs a little bit, running up and down. It's about working smarter, not harder sometimes.
Okay, because we hear those infamous stories of the late, great Kobe Bryant, who was here with the Hour Group, and it was just a life highlight for a lot of us getting to meet him.
Yeah.
But you hear the stories of late night sessions at gyms after games that they probably won.
Yeah.
And he'd go back, and while his other teammates, like Shaq, were partying, he was in the gym. Are you that guy?
I try to be, for sure. I mean, I think especially a lot of people in the generation now who are in the NBA, we watch Kobe and guys like him. Really, Kobe, the main one who set that standard of that's the kind of hard work, that's the work ethic that you have to have, and mentality that you have to be great. So, like I said, Kobe is an idol to a lot of us, and we learned those lessons, and that's really, he helped us and led us on a path that if you want to be better, it's not enough to just do it. Sometimes you got to be consistent.
All right, so real life example. You're listening to this and you're tempted to go partying for about the 7th straight weekend and write yourself off for a couple of nights and just, go crazy. Take us to a point in your life, maybe in your younger years, where you consciously actually remember a time that you said no to something really fun, right?
Yeah.
And tell me what you did instead.
You used to do it a lot, especially at college and university, as y'all call it over here. I would, a lot of partying going on. A lot of my friends from class and things like that, going out 5-6 times a week, 5-6 times a night, a week. Yeah,
okay, right?
A week. Yeah. I sacrificed to have to stay in. Maybe you need a little extra rest for the workout in the morning, or a lot of times back then, I don't do it as much now that I'm a little bit older, trying to save my legs, but I would go back in and get another workout, get a lot of shots up, just being there in the gym at nighttime by myself. So that's the kind of stuff that really paying off later.
So already here's one of our takeaways. Consistency, hard work. Now, that's not rocket science, but actually doing it, right? So I now know. Seth Curry told me I have to work really hard. I have to be really consistent. What at least works for me in my little piece of my little world is that I try and work on my why. So why do I do what I do, in my case, host radio shows and podcasts? And I have a pretty good sense of why I do it.
Yep.
That helps me hopefully get into some good routines and patterns.
Yeah.
Do you think that's important, that you have a strong sense of why you do what you do? A sense of purpose, I guess, Seth?
Yeah, sense of purpose. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why that'll push you to do a little bit extra, to work a little bit harder. For everybody's why it's a little bit different. It might be your kids, might be that's what you're just ambition. For me, it was just my love of the game. Like I said, that sacrifices some stuff to go play basketball and put a little bit of extra work in. It wasn't tough for me because I just loved to play. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was early in my career, when I was undrafted, I wasn't in the NBA yet, and I wanted to be there. I had no problem playing in the arenas with 200 people in the stands. You know what I'm saying? Because I love basketball and I would do it anyway.
So it doesn't feel like work, and there's another takeout for us. So for you, I know you use the word sacrifice so that we could all understand it, but strangely, it's not a sacrifice for you. Yeah. In a way, yeah, because, I mean, there's others. I play basketball, but there's other stuff I love to do as well. I just sacrifice some of those things because I like basketball a little bit more, or I had goals in basketball that I wanted to accomplish. Right. What I found fascinating in watching you on the Draymond Green show, which I really enjoyed that episode that you did with him, was when he said right at the end, he says to you, what's something you want to achieve that you haven't achieved? So it was very much a question around goals and outcomes. And you were pretty quick to say to him, you're more a process guy.
Yeah.
I found that fascinating. So it's not necessarily, for example, the most obvious goal you could have as an NBA player is, I want to win a chip. It feels like that's not something you necessarily say to yourself. Like, if you win a chip along the way from implementing your process, great. Yeah. Is that a fair statement? You don't particularly set your sights on winning an actual chip. It's more doing the work?
Yeah, I want to maximize. My goals are to maximize my potential, right? So there's a lot of factors that come into something like winning a championship. Obviously, I want to win a championship. I want to do certain things, but some of that stuff is out of my control. So I'm about, like I said, I'm about process. I'm about attacking the short-term goals more, and attacking every day and doing things the right way. And then whatever happens. In the future, I feel like that'll happen the way it should be. So if I'm doing things the right way, then I'm on the way towards winning the championship and being the best player I can be.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you set a goal, I want to be really famous and come to Australia and have people take photos of me, that you're not going to get there without a process, right?
Exactly. It's what are you doing every day? It's not, I want to be very famous, but what are you doing to reach that goal? That's more the way I look at it.
And then also just because a lot of us work in teams and we have to be successful inside of teams, who better to ask than you? You've played for a bunch of NBA teams, you've played with some big names, some very hyped names. Give us some insights into how to achieve success within your team. I mean, you pointed to knowing your role.
Yeah.
How critical is that? And then we can all think about teams that we're in at work and I suppose defining our roles. I mean, talk to us a little bit about the importance of team and I guess knowing your place.
Yeah, I think, knowing your place on an individual team, whether that's in business or a school project or whatever, I always say it's about being adaptive, being able to adapt to whatever that situation, that team needs from you. For me, I've been on a few teams now, play with a lot of different types of superstars and rosters where every team needed something a little different from me, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm a scorer, obviously a shooter, but some teams need me to come off the bench, some teams needed me to start, make more plays, so for me, I think that's one of my greatest attributes is, especially this year, like I was traded from team to team mid-season, and I got off to a hot start on my new team just because I feel like I can adapt to a lot of different roles, and I'm not really, I'm thinking you don't want to go to a situation and be like, they got to fit me. It's more like, what can I do to make this thing work the best?
And what about knowing your value, though? Because I completely appreciate what you just said then. But you do get to a point sometimes in career or in life where you decide, hang on. I believe that my role should be more significant.
Okay, yeah.
Now, how do you grapple with that? You are the third, by three-point percentage, the third greatest shooter of the three ball in NBA history. So you would have the right to have a bit of swag and come in and say, I'm the man.
No.
So how do you manage that process? Because they might not want you to be the man, but you probably have every ability to be the man.
Yeah, I say that. I mean, you don't get to where I'm at without having a little bit of overconfidence and belief in yourself. So, right, you want to have that ambition. Obviously, you want to fit into that role, but at the same time, you're pushing yourself every day and you're waiting for an opportunity to do more. And when you do that, when you have the opportunity to do more, you feel like you're ready for it. So it's a tough balance of having that overconfidence and being humble enough to fit into whatever they ask of you.
Well, what was that nickname you were given by the Swaggy? What was that one? Swaggy.
Swag. I forgot, Swaggy Swag.
Swaggy Swag?
Like yeah.
Who gave you that?
My guy, a coach back in Dallas. Oh, what was his name?
Well, didn't Mark Cuban give it to you, the owner of Dallas?
He called it. He didn't come up with it. He called it. He used it a lot, but he's not the guy that came up with it.
Well, but still, you walk into the office of Mark Cuban, who's one of the most successsul people in the world, and if he is even agreeing to call you Swaggy Swag, you must have had a level of confidence, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, his assistant coach named KK.
Okay.
Came up with that.
Okay. So we've got to have the Swaggy Swag, but we also need to have the humility when we need it. Have you ever looked at a situation, even if the money was good, right, where you've gone, cool, I get the whole thing about knowing your role, but in this particular opportunity that's been put in front of me, I think I want more than that role that they're asked. Is it important to ask a team, in your instance, what do you see my role as, and make sure that you agree to that role before you start?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a tough balance. I mean, you want to talk to the people in charge and let them know if you can do more, but if that's not what it's asking, you can't let it affect your performance and what your role is at that moment. So, ambition is great. It gives you that extra motivation, extra push to be great every day. But like I said, you want to control what you can control. And that's the best mindset to have.
You work with young people. Even here in Australia, you have worked with young people at camps, and you work with themes like resilience with young people. How cool is it for you, as a positive force, as a guy that I was stoked to have on A Dose of Positive, to work with young kids and mentor? I guess the importance of mentorship is where I'm going with this.
Yeah, it's huge because, I mean, I told the kids the other day at camp, I was in your shoes not too long ago. I was sit on the floor, listen to older guys and NBA players come to camps and talk to me. So I feel like it's right to repay that and keep the process going as far as giving that ambition back, spreading your individual knowledge and experience that you've attained over all the years. And for me, I love it. Like in the summer, I try to do it as much as possible. Go to kids and talk to them, mentor the ones that I have enough time to. And I mean, as you're coming up, I think it's always good to look for people to mentor you, because that just allows you to gain knowledge and experience some stuff that you haven't had to go through yet. So
many successful people point to mentorship, whether it's a paid mentor or someone that's good enough to give of their time.
Yeah.
Would you highly recommend that as a road for people in life to find that person?
Yeah, I think it's huge. No, not be afraid to ask for mentorship as well. I mean, obviously you want people who are just as invested as you, and you'd be so. I mean, I found out surprised at how many people want to find people to mentor, to give back to, because I think, like I said, that's the right thing to do. It's the way to keep the world and to keep the process going. And very successful people are ones who've been through a lot, and they want to, like I said, repay that and share their knowledge.
There's an obvious answer to this, because I highly suspect it would be your own dad, who completely balled out. But any other mentors in your life other than your own father that you, whether it was basketball or otherwise in life, that you have sought that advice from or needed something from along this great journey of yours?
My father, like you said, my father's definitely one. I mean, that goes without saying. My father-in-law, actually, he's another great coach and he's another great basketball player.
Yeah, you got a bit of talent,
and a leader.
Bit of talent in the family with Doc Rivers just at the dinner table.
Yeah, I'm lucky, but even more so, I look for people that have been successful, had some adversity, and got through it outside of sports, say in the business world or even, I mean, anything in that realm. So I look for a lot of people, because I found like that mentality of fighting through things and becoming successful applies to all different things, not just basketball, not just sports. Would
you be willing to give a shout out to one or two of those people that it might surprise us to go, oh wow, Seth Curry, the basketball player, was inspired by insert name here? Yeah. Anyone you could give a shout out to?
Yeah, one of them was a professor I had at Duke. Just like I said, he's a guy who mentored me while I was in school and gave me a lot of great advice and things like that.
Was he too humble for you to name him, or
No. Dr. Neal, yeah.
There we go.
Duke. So that's
Dr. Neal, shout out.
Another one is, I've been around him a couple times. We're not great friends, but a guy like I mentioned the other day, like guy Kevin Hart. So very successful now. But early in his career, he didn't get off to a great start. I mean, he was trying to make it in different ways, but later in his career, got successful, and like I said, he's all blown up and all that.
So did you know Kevin before he really, really proper took off? Did you, or did you get to know him along the way when he probably was already popping?
Yeah, I did. I knew him a little bit. I went to a couple of his shows back in the day when I was younger, and his comedy shows, I should say, before he was really a big movie star. So
that's cool.
I've kind of seen his story as he's gone along.
Yeah, and is there something that even, say, Kevin Hart, that you could specifically remember, something that Kevin Hart would have said to you, or something that he did that you went, wow, I can apply this. Like, this is cool shit, you know?
I think nothing he actually said to me. I mean, I met him a couple times, but like I said, we weren't great friends, but I was watching him as his story was going along, and I was watching his work ethic and his confidence as he was had a couple movies that flopped or whatever, didn't do well, and he kept working at it, kept grinding.
Well, I'll tell you why I like that even more as we wrap up this episode of Dose of Positive. I like that even more, that somebody that you looked up to and you were inspired by, even though you surround yourself with circles of people who many will have known, we can get inspiration from people we haven't met.
Yeah.
Like any of us, we don't have to be Seth Curry to be inspired by somebody. You're saying, hey, I learned a lot of things from afar from Kevin.
Exactly.
It wasn't that you've got some privileged life where you meet all celebrities. Like, you could just find this on the internet, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you lock in, you can do some studying, you can watch from afar. I think that's the best thing to do, to watch a lot of different people outside of your field, even your field, and try to take what you can from any situation.
Well, in summary, someone close to you says, Seth Curry, I want a dose of positive. Give us a mantra, give us something you live by, or tell us something that you would say to that person. Like, all right, here's it, here's what it is. They just need that little bit of energy.
Something I live by is, just a quick little saying, is create your own path. So for me, like I said, I got a very successful father who played 16 years in the NBA, a brother who's one of the best basketball players that really ever do it. And for me, I always live by create your own path, so I don't really try to measure myself up to what they're doing, up to what he's doing, or somebody else next to me. I try to blaze my own trail, try to get the most out of my talent and what I can possibly be. And I mean, only you know if you're really maximizing and getting the most out of it. So I feel like I'm doing that right now.
Man, that was worth the price of admission for that last bit. That was really good. And never forget, your 3-point percentage field goal, a bit higher than Steph's, so kind of got him covered.
I always got that over.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Seth Curry,
Appreciate it.
thanks for being part of A Dose of Positive.
Thank you.